During World War II, survival was not just about courage, it was about ingenuity, ruthlessness, and sometimes crossing lines that would later be deemed unacceptable. What you are about to learn are 7 survival tricks so extreme that they were banned after the war, yet they reveal the raw realities soldiers and civilians faced in life-and-death situations. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to Survival Archives. If you're serious about history and practical survival knowledge, this guide is made for you, and sharing it ensures others gain insight into strategies that were once the last resort. These methods are not just stories, they are lessons in resourcefulness, discipline, and the harsh calculus of survival. Survival often required turning everyday objects into life-saving tools. One of the most overlooked skills of World War II soldiers was the ability to convert mundane items into essential survival gear. Soldiers in the Eastern Front, for instance, transformed mess kits into portable stoves, using scraps of metal and fuel from abandoned vehicles. This method allowed them to cook in freezing temperatures, melting snow for drinking water, and preparing frozen rations without exposure to enemy fire. Modern survivalists can take this lesson by always analyzing their environment for multi-purpose tools. A simple tin can become a portable stove or water boiler, and learning the mechanics of improvised devices can mean the difference between comfort and danger in an emergency. Extreme rationing and consuming unconventional foods kept civilians alive. Food scarcity during the war led to some of the most brutal yet effective survival strategies. In occupied territories, families survived by consuming bark, roots, and even powdered leaves when conventional food sources were exhausted. In some cases, people developed techniques to extract maximum nutrition from what would normally be discarded. The key lesson for modern survivalists is learning how to identify and process unconventional food sources safely. A practical application would be familiarizing yourself with local edible plants and learning how to purify them for consumption, a skill that could sustain you during prolonged isolation or disaster scenarios. Using psychological tactics to manipulate the enemy or environment saved countless lives. World War II survival wasn't always physical. Psychological ingenuity often made the difference. Soldiers employed extreme deception techniques, using decoy fires, fake bunkers, and even mannequins, to draw enemy attention away from critical resources. These tactics, though seemingly ruthless, allowed small units to escape encirclement or protect civilians. Today, understanding the principles of misdirection and camouflage is directly applicable to both tactical survival training and even urban preparedness, where creating distractions or concealing resources can prevent theft or unwanted attention during crises. Extreme hygiene methods were essential but, harshly effective. The cramped conditions of bunkers and trenches made disease a constant threat. In some units, soldiers were trained to endure harsh sterilization routines, including boiling uniforms and disinfecting communal areas with potent chemicals. While these methods bordered on cruelty to comfort, they drastically reduced outbreaks of typhus and dysentery. For modern survivalists, the takeaway is clear rigorous hygiene under resource constraints is non-negotiable. Steps like purifying water through boiling or chemical treatments, disinfecting tools, and isolating contaminated areas are direct applications of these wartime lessons. Harnessing body heat and unconventional shelter techniques saved lives in freezing conditions. Soldiers on the Eastern Front developed brutal but effective strategies for surviving sub-zero temperatures. They would insulate themselves using layers of unconventional materials such as straw newspapers and even salvaged horsehair. Some dug makeshift snow shelters that could trap body heat for days. Today, applying this knowledge involves creative insulation using what's available in your environment. Layering fabrics, using reflective surfaces to retain heat, or constructing temporary snow or debris shelters can drastically increase survival chances in cold weather scenarios. Resourcefulness in energy and fuel conservation was a matter of life and death. Fuel shortages forced soldiers and civilians to develop extreme conservation techniques. Vehicles were stripped to their essentials to maximize mileage, and civilians learned to ration every ounce of coal, wood, or kerosene for heating and cooking. Modern applications include learning how to prioritize energy consumption in emergencies, whether it's rationing batteries, using biomass efficiently, or employing passive heating techniques indoors. The principle remains: when resources are limited, maximizing efficiency is critical. Brutal first-aid improvisation saved lives when medical care was unavailable. Finally, when medics were scarce, soldiers resorted to extreme improvisation. Wounds were treated with makeshift splints from broken equipment, infections were managed with rudimentary antiseptics, and sometimes, even small surgeries were performed under field conditions with minimal tools. These methods were often risky, but they saved lives that would have otherwise been lost. For today's survivalist, understanding basic first aid and improvisation techniques, like using clean cloths as bandages, sterilizing tools, and stabilizing injuries with improvised splints, can mean the difference between life and death in remote or disaster scenarios. The harshness of these methods shows how far humans can push ingenuity when survival is on the line. While the world banned these extreme approaches after the war, the underlying principles, resourcefulness, adaptability, and relentless problem-solving, remain timeless. These are not merely historical curiosities, they are lessons in how to respond when conventional support disappears. If you are a history enthusiast or survivalist, these strategies provide both inspiration and practical knowledge. Remember to subscribe to Survival Archives for more in-depth explorations of history's hidden survival secrets, and share this video with others who value real, actionable historical insights. The stories of World War II survival are brutal, yes, but they are also proof that preparation, creativity, and courage can sustain life under the harshest conditions.